Hey, this is Amar. In this video, I'm going to take you through a Kundalini Yoga practice for helping you to clear emotional and energetic blocks from your lower chakras. Okay, so this is in response to a previous video I made where I talked about how Kundalini Yoga can be great for resolving emotional blocks. As a result of that, it can help us relieve physical pains from our bodies. Before I get into the video, I just want to share a quick disclaimer and say if you have any heavy emotional illness or mental illness like bad depression or severe anxiety, then maybe these exercises are not for you. Okay, please be mindful with yourself and be gentle with yourself. And before I get into the exercises, I want to just spend a little bit of time explaining what we are trying to do. It's very, very important that you understand what we are trying to do. So please watch the first half of this video. Now, if you haven't heard of Kundalini Yoga, it's an ancient practice that originates from India that a lot of yogis and enlightened people do to help them raise their consciousness to different higher levels. A lot of us are kind of stuck in the lower centers. Each center represents a level of consciousness, and because of our lives, wounds and traumas, we end up having blockages in the lower centers, and we can never really reach the highest centers in our fullness without clearing the lower ones. So that is what we are trying to do. Another important thing to share is that these exercises are mainly going to target the navel chakra and the solar plexus chakra. I don't believe they do much for the root chakra. So the mechanics behind what we are trying to do. So like I talked about in the other video, Indian mystics claim that we have an energetic tube which runs from the bottom of the torso to the top of the head. It's this tube which gets clogged up through emotional and energetic resistance. So it's this tube we're effectively trying to clear. Once this tube becomes clear, then we can begin to raise our prana or energy into these higher centers. Okay, and we can't really activate the higher centers without doing the work on these lower centers. Now, it's also important that we are committed to this practice. So I recommend people try to develop this into a weekly thing where you do it every week, once a week. It takes about 20-25 minutes. As long as you stay committed to that over a couple of months, I'm pretty certain you're going to start to bring stuff up, and as you process that, you're going to experience some shifts and growth as a result of that. Now, the mechanics of this exercise, like I said, we are trying to raise our energy through this tube, through these lower centers. So what I like to do is during the exercises is to visualize this. The visualization part of this practice is very, very important. You can't be thinking about what you're going to watch on TV later on. Your consciousness, your awareness needs to be in the present moment with what you are doing. So what I like to do is I like to think or visualize this energy as like I'm pumping it up through this tube. So where I get this idea from is from India. In India they have these water pumps where they're pumping the water out of the ground up through this pump. Exactly the same way, that's how I like to see this tube, us pumping the energy up to the highest centers. And let me show you an example of what I mean. So one of the exercises is like this. It's just this movement combined with some breath work called breath of fire. And while I'm doing this exercise, I'm visualizing the energy just moving up through this tube. While I do that, I may focus on one of the chakras. So if I know the solar plexus is sensitive for me, my attention may be on this center while I'm doing the exercise combined with the breath work. I'm focusing on bringing that energy up to these highest centers. Okay, the other very important thing to share is that the exercises may take 20 minutes to half an hour. but the next day you may bring something up, some emotion that had been stuck on this level may be brought up. As that comes up, it can have quite a heavy effect on your mood, on you. So when I first started doing these exercises, sometimes I would feel quite bad or down or sad the next day, and I didn't know why. I wasn't really aware that the exercises was actually bringing stuff up. Now I've become more aware of that. I can now be mindful and I can process the emotion if something comes up, because this is the work that we're doing. We're bringing old traumas up effectively, and think about that. That's quite a scary thing to do. So we need to be very, very responsible with ourselves. And if we do experience some heavy emotion come up, we need to process it. How do we process it? I have a video called The Feeling Process, which I'm going to link up here. Go ahead, watch that. That will talk you through the process. So this Kundalini Yoga doesn't end after half an hour once you've finished the physical exercises. It may continue for a few other days. It's very important you learn how to process these heavy emotions. Only then will you grow and get the growth and progress that you want. Okay, like I said, I recommend you commit to this. Do it at least for a couple of months to see how it goes. And because the exercises are quite strenuous, you may want to start off just doing a minute for each one. There's 4 exercises together. For demonstration purposes, I'll be doing each exercise for 2 minutes. You can follow along with me, but really you want to try to build up to 3 to 5 minutes. When you can do each exercise for 5 minutes, that's when you're really going to be bringing up a lot of stuff, but I recommend you build up to that. Okay, what I like to do is, because it's quite fatiguing on the muscles, very fatiguing on the shoulders. I'll try to do each exercise for 5 minutes, but if I can't go any longer, I'll pause my timer and then I'll continue. I'll pause the timer and continue, so I'll take little breaks. I'll still get the 5 minutes in, but I'll just pause. But to begin with, you don't need to be going for 5 minutes per exercise. Just follow along with me, do a minute or 2 minutes, whatever works. So I think that's everything that I wanted to talk about, all the points I wanted to cover. If anything else comes up, I'll explain it as we're going through the exercises. If you have any questions, hit me up in a comment. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy it and good luck. Thank you. So now we're going to get into these exercises. There's 4 exercises. This is number 1. And I'll be doing each exercise for 2 minutes. Now you're going to have to sit up straight. I can't do the yogi leg cross. If you can do that, do that. I don't have the flexibility. If you need the support, you can rest against the wall. It's what I used to do when I first started, if your back just doesn't feel strong enough. And if you feel like taking a break anytime during the routine, just take a break or pause the video and then continue, because it can be quite fatiguing on the muscles. The other important thing to mention is the breath. So we'll be doing something called breath of fire. With this breath, we keep an O-shaped mouth like this, and we breathe fast like that throughout the whole process. The breath work is very important because it's bringing consciousness and awareness into our body. Remember, while we do each exercise, keep your attention on bringing up energy through this tube up to just upwards. Okay, the other thing I wanted to say is I want to introduce you to Osho, who is a Buddha who lives with me. He is the brains behind the whole setup. I'm just the guy who takes orders. So he's going to watch over us and make sure we do it all right. So the first exercise is this. Simply this for 2 minutes. Okay, so you want to align with the heart chakra there and then the third eye. So this is the range of motion, and the breath is, we follow something called Sat Nam. So Sat is breathe in, out, in, out, Sat Nam, in, out. So we just
going to do this for 2 minutes. Okay, so good luck. Set the timer on your phone. That's what I'm going to do now. We'll see how we do. So you should have got prepared. Okay, 2 minutes. Let's do it. You can even follow through with me first if you want, and then do it afterwards if that kind of helps you understand it more. But let's do it. So that's done. As you can see, I set off too quickly. I think I was under pressure to perform, performance pressure. So I would recommend slowing down. Don't go set off at the pace that I set off. I really went too quick. What you'll notice is if this is the first time you've done this breath work, you're going to be oxygenating your body, and because of that you may start to get pins and needles. I'm just warning you. If this worries you, then just don't do it. But this is really powerful, the breath, in really getting in touch with the blockages. Okay, so the next one is similar to this exercise, but it's this movement. So just like this. For this exercise, the breath is not in sync with the movement. So the breath is just like that. And on this movement, we need to keep our chin tucked into the chest. Remember to focus on the energy moving up your body. Feel free to take a break in between each exercise because, like I said, they are quite strenuous. I'm going to go a little bit slower paced on this one. So your final point, to keep your hands like this, clasped. Okay, here we go. Right, so that's exercise 2 done. You'll probably be feeling it in your shoulders now. Don't worry, there's only 2 more to go. Like I said, if you need to take a break, take a break. It is a workout. Your shoulders are going to feel very pumped afterwards. This may be why yogis have big shoulders. So the next movement we are doing is it's this movement, like a chicken. This movement is said to get sadness and heavy emotions out of the lungs and the rib cage. Apparently we store a lot of heavy stuff in this area, so this repetitive movement combined with the breath work can help us dissolve the blocks in this area. So in this one, the breath follows the movement, so it's Sat Nam. So as you're slamming into your rib cage, you're breathing out. Okay, so again, another 2 minutes. Just go at your own pace. Just go at your own pace. Okay, here we go. So that's the 3rd exercise complete. If you're hanging in there, well done. I know these are quite difficult exercises. I'm finding them tough. So yeah, just hang in there. Just one final exercise. This one doesn't involve the shoulders, so your shoulders will get a rest. It's like a torso twist. We just want to be twisting like this. Okay, yeah, 2 minutes. Same, follow the breath, and yeah, we're really getting into the solar plexus and any stuck or stored emotions we have here. So with this one, we want to place our hands on our chest. Try to connect to your heart space as you do this, and remember to follow the breath. So here we go, final 2 minutes, let's get it. Okay, that's it, we're done. Now we just want to quickly go into a quiet, peaceful space. Close your eyes and just try to notice if you can recognize or feel any new energies moving in your body or mind. Connect to the source. If you do feel connected, I welcome you to stay there. Okay, that's pretty much the whole routine done. Like I said, if you can build this up to 3 to 5 minutes for each exercise, you're doing great. And just try to really connect to the emotions that you're trying to shift. Okay, so I hope you found that helpful. I hope it wasn't too difficult. And I hope you get some awesome results out of it. So thank you so much for watching. See you next time.